Yo, hey guys, and welcome to another Heroes of Hammerwatch build guide video. This is Weeks. Today we're going to be talking about the Warlock class. We're going to be playing the Warlock class as a skill-based character that focuses on crit, combo, and luck. So the Warlock is kind of an interesting class. It has a melee attack for its primary attack, even though it's a spellcaster. This melee attack applies a soul consumption debuff to the target. It doesn't do any physical damage or magic damage itself, it's just the damage over time does damage. And the Warlock gains health and mana based on the amount of damage done by this damage over time. Technically this is still part of the primary attack, so it will be scaled with attack power. But we're not really focusing on this. This is just going to be a supplemental thing to keep our health and mana up. So for the actual skills, we're using Lightning Bolt, which is just fires a bolt of lightning, has a short range, and chains between a bunch of targets. Next we're using Gargoyle. Gargoyle is basically a totem, and you can set up the totems in a way to where they link together, and the links do 50% of the damage, and it also stuns the enemies. So if we look, you can connect them. You can do different patterns where some of these are linking multiple times. You get the max damage that way. Next we have Eye of the Storm. Eye of the Storm will also link with the Gargoyles. But basically this does a cloud above your character and it branches out and does magic damage to anything in the area. It has an 11-second duration, which at max rank is actually longer than the cooldown of the skill. So you can have this up 100% of the time, as long as you can keep your mana up. Next we have Extended Domain. This just increases the range of all the Warlock skills. So Lightning Bolt, Gargoyle, and Eye of the Storm. Next we have Soul Cleaver. Enemies affected by soul consumption, which is the passive on the primary attack, will spread 50% of the damage taken to nearby enemies. So you get additional damage just if you hit one thing, then a lot of things nearby will give you that health and mana at a 50% rate. Pretty nice, just doesn't make you focus entirely on every single mob. It kind of spreads it in an AoE. And last we have Stormlash. All lightning bolts, or all bolts of lightning, have a 50% chance to trigger a new bolt of lightning dealing 50% damage. So that will include your lightning bolts, your gargoyles, and your Eye of the Storm. So for blessings, as we said before, the Warlock is a pure magic-based character. Our primary doesn't do any physical damage without items. It does a damage over time, and then we have our lightning bolts that all do magic damage. None of it's hybrid, so we'll be going Path of Magician just to increase the damage of all of our skills by 20%. Followed by Blessing of Intellect, which will increase magic damage. Well, it'll penetrate magic damage on enemies by 20%, which is all of our damage. So that's a huge amount. The more magic resist that an enemy has, the less effective all of our damage is going to be. Whereas if you're playing something like the Sorcerer and you get a penetration item, it only counts for half your damage because all of his damage is hybrid. Whereas the Warlock character, everything is magical, so the penetration is much more useful. Next, we have Symbol of Focus. This increases the crit damage of our skills by 100%. We're a critical skill build, so this is like the perfect option to pick. Next, we have Divine Strike. Divine Strike has a low cooldown, which is one reason why we're using it. It's also purely magic damage, so it gets benefits from the Blessing of Intellect. And our primary attack attacks pretty quickly, so we should be able to get a lot more Divine Strikes out. Next up, we have the drinks. We are using Evil Infusion to get lifesteal on our skills. You will lose 10% of your health when casting a skill, so as long as you're hitting something, you're going to be gaining that life right back. But the moment that you can't hit something, or if the boss you're fighting or the enemy you're fighting is a construct, you won't leech off of that. So it's a couple things to keep in mind when using this drink. You may want to kind of take it easy on the first boss since he's considered a construct. You can't lifesteal from him, so you'll have to adjust your strategy to where you don't just lose all your health trying to blow him up instantly. Alright, next we have Frenetic Eruption. This gives us a 5% chance of triggering a combo when scoring critical hits. So, like I said before, we're basing everything off of crits and combo. This is how we're going to be getting into combo. Also, the luck that we were talking about will increase this 5% chance even higher. And just with all the hits, the lightning bolts chaining, the gargoyles doing damage everywhere, and the Eye of the Storm, we're going to have this buff up all the time. Since we're a combo build, we're using Wicked Sickness. This gives us an extra 200% damage while in combo, and minus damage while outside of combo, so we're really trying to make sure we're in combo as much as possible. Since we're a crit build, a combo build, we're also going to be taking Starlit Stinger. This gives us a 15% chance to score a critical hit with skills, which is what we're focusing our build on. We don't really care about a primary attack if it crits or if it doesn't crit. We're just focusing on these other skills. And lastly, we are using Elemental Bruiser. So this increases the damage of our skills, but it also increases the skills cost. This will be important later because the statues we're using are going to actually scale our damage based on the cost of the skills. So we can increase the cost of the skills with this drink, and that'll increase our damage in addition to what the drink actually gives us in damage. So this drink gives us plus 75% skill damage, but it also increases our cost by 50%, which is going to increase our damage way more with our statue levels. All right, next up we have starting items for the build. We're looking for Lucky Hat and or Staff of Auto Casting. So as you see here, we have Lucky Hat and we can craft the Staff of Auto Casting. There's some like other decent things with here. I'll say this is kind of on the low end of what you can maybe find. Magic Penetration, Wand would be good here. The skill power is okay. The gauntlets are okay. You get some HP, but if we were doing like really high NG on this character, we would be looking for a little bit stricter, but this is fine for this character right now. So for item attunements, I would definitely recommend your starting items first. Lucky Hat was one, and the other one is the Staff of Auto Casting. After you roll whichever one in the shop, you'll go here and craft the other one. Some other stuff we've crafted, we've done, anything giving us armor, resist, health, see some evasion mixed in, skill power is really good. Anything that gives us base health, crit, we started getting attack power as well, effective health, armor. There's so much you can get, like we'll have most of this by the end, but I just kind of want to show off kind of what we have now. Start picking up your utility items, more crit with skills. This is like the second best item to have besides the Staff of Auto Casting. The Wand of Spell Piercing is super great. If you can find this in the shop when you're rolling for Lucky Hat or Staff of Auto Casting, that's really going to help out. And just a lot of utility items, anything that gives us skill power, armor, life, movement speed, luck, evasion, all that's really going to come in handy and you want to get eventually. All right, next up we have statues. So for statues, we're using Cedric. Cedric gives us more mana regen and resistance by 20% for 30 seconds after we pick up a mana crystal. So definitely go out of your way to pick up those mana crystals. Also, in addition to that, each level of the statue adds 5% of your resistances to skill power. So if we look at our skill power right now from the statue, we have plus 42. And we haven't really gone out of our way. I mean, we're only level 70. We're a NG plus 11 warlock. We've done no arena. So there's definitely ways we could get more resist if we wanted. Another thing, it kind of makes items like Amulet of Kings a DPS item. And just as you get higher and higher statue levels, this is just going to be more and more significant. Scales really well with your NG levels because you just get damage every level, which is very nice. Also, once you get the statue to level 20, the percentage of the increase will equal 1 skill power per 1 resistance. And then beyond level 20, you'll start getting more skill power than you would for resist. So if you ever do arena for your warlock and you have a statue that's level 20 or higher, it's more efficient for you to put the skills into resist instead of skill power, surprisingly, because you'll get the benefit of the resist and also the benefit of the skill power. Next we have Wilmer. Wilmer gives us 20% faster skills, which basically means the cooldown is less and it does damage faster. Also, each level of the skill adds 5% of the skill cost as damage to your skills. So this is what we were talking about earlier with the Elemental Bruiser. So as you get this higher and higher, you're going to get, so like level 20 would be 100% of the skills cost is added as damage for your skills. So our Eye of the Storm that you see over there, those 180 mana, it would give us 180 damage to the skill itself, which is just really insane. And that's why we're also using Elemental Bruiser to increase this cost even more for all these skills. So they hit like a truck, and then when they crit, they hit like an even bigger truck. Lastly, we use Bolgarth. Like we said before, this is a combo crit oriented build. We take more damage when we're outside of combo, so we want to stay in combo as much as possible. Bolgarth helps with this. As you saw before, the Frenetic Eruption has a 5% chance to put us in combo on crits. So this will help keep us in combo. We're currently level 10. It gives us 5 additional seconds of combo. So hopefully in the next 5 seconds with luck, we'll be able to hit that 5% chance, which should be more like 8, 9, 10% chance, depending on how much luck we have, to refresh the combo and keep doing that. It also gives us on our primary attack little combo blast, which isn't irrelevant. We will be using our primary ability all the time to keep our health and mana up. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is our build guide on the Warlock class. There's definitely other ways you can play this character. This is just what has worked out for us up to NG11. I'm sure you can take this even higher, NG20, NG, even higher than that. If we find out something that works better, we will, make another guide for that. But currently, this is what's working well for us. So if anyone has any questions or comments about this character, just leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.